Hey there, how you doing? Today I'm going to use one of my best and simplest teaching tools to demonstrate one of the biggest principles of chiropractic. The principle is that we're not symptom treaters. So what I have here is a rubber band, and what I'm going to do with this rubber band is I'm going to take the band and I'm going to tighten it around my finger, really tight like that. So the first thing that happens with this rubber band around my finger is I feel the constriction of the rubber band. The rubber band's really tight, it's putting pressure on my finger. The longer I leave it there, gradually it's going to start to cause some degree of discomfort. I leave it there even longer, the tip of my finger will start to become numb. Actually, as I touch it, it is becoming numb. The longer I leave it after that, the finger's going to turn blue because of the decrease in circulation. And you agree with me that if I were to leave this rubber band on my finger as tight as this is terminally, gradually this finger would necrose and start to die off. So let's imagine this, and I got to talk fast because all those things are happening right now that I just described to you, so we're going to get through this point before it does. Let's imagine there is no rubber band here right now, but you have all those effects. You have the tightness and the pressure, you have the numbness, you have the changing of the color, and you have the pain and discomfort. The first thing you would typically do, if obviously if you didn't know there was a rubber band there, you might say, oh man, my finger hurts. Let me go take a few Advil and see what happens. Naturally, maybe the Advil help with the discomfort, but the problem's still there when the Advil wears off. So maybe you might try a little massage, maybe you go to the doctor prescribes more medication, maybe he prescribes physical therapy, but the problem still exists. So the doctor then may refer you to a surgeon, and the surgeon looks at this and says, all right, well, we have to operate, let's cut this finger off. So from the chiropractic perspective, it's sort of simple here. We don't want to treat the symptom. The symptom is giving you drugs or medication to get rid of that symptom to go away, massaging it to get rid of that symptom to go away. But what we want to do is we want to look to the cause of the problem. And the cause of this problem is fairly simple. There's a rubber band around my finger. So rather than leave the rubber band there, why not just take it off? And then wow, all of a sudden that discomfort goes away, the blood's flowing the way it should, my finger color's turning back to normal, and I'm going to have a healthy finger. So with chiropractic, it's the same principle. We're not treating the symptom. When someone comes into our office with a back problem or for health expression, we're not trying to cover up the symptom by giving you a drug or a medication. What we're looking at is what's causing it, and our cause in our particular specialty is alignment. When the vertebrae are out of alignment, that's causing issues with the muscles, it's causing issues with the bones. And in this example here, we can even say that, let's imagine that my finger was a spinal nerve that's coming out between the vertebra and the spine, and when the vertebra goes out of alignment, it puts pressure on that nerve and it starts to block the nerve flow. So whatever's on the other end of that nerve is not going to work as well as it should, and it's not going to be as healthy. So real simple in chiropractic terms, we want to take the vertebra and realign it, open up that neural space, take the pressure off the nerve so that the neural energy can flow the way it's supposed to be. So chiropractic's fairly simple. It's not about treating symptoms. It's about correcting the cause, and the cause can be as simple as just taking the rubber band off your finger, adjusting the spine, getting the vertebra in the proper alignment. Okay? So that is my my simplest chiropractic teaching tool, one of the most effective, and naturally the cheapest and least expensive tool there is too. All right, so I hope you got something out of that. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon. give you a little panoramic this morning. Alright, that's the neighbor's house. They had quite the party last night. Went well into the evening. They were using those floats at 1 in the morning. And then we go over a little bit. That's my back dock. And then we squeeze over there, my other neighbors. And it's pretty early in the morning. It's real nice out. Nice breeze. I hope it didn't affect the sound quality here. Tide is up high. And it looks like it's going to be a beautiful day today. So I'll just swing around a little bit. You know what, while I'm here, let me walk over. I want to show you what we had a lot of fun on yesterday. Look, that's the big Connect 4 game. You ever play Connect 4? It's pretty fun. This is the big giant version. But we have a, those are my paddle boards, but we have a big hot dog. You see that big hot dog out there? I'm going to get a close-up view of it. There it is. Seats 5 people. And it's fun to get a bunch of people on there, kids, and pull them around on the bay at high speed and try to knock them off. And then right next to that rowboat, you see the blue, or I could be colorblind, maybe it's purple, but I'm going to say blue. That's our dog ramp, so the dog can get in and out of the bay. Because as you saw in the one video I put on the channel, there's a video of the dog jumping in the bay, so you can see that. So this is a beautiful day today. I guess I didn't feel like ending the video, so I'll give you some panoramic shots of what we see around here in the morning. It's cool. Maybe I'll take you a walk around the yard too. You want to do that? Let's take you a walk around the yard. I'll show you a couple things that I have. Nope, I'm panning too fast. The camera says panning too fast. Alright, so naturally we have cornhole back here because it's fun. I do a lot of solo cornhole where I stand there and throw the bean bags and then walk back and get them and throw them back again. You know, social distancing. So, grass plants. Those little spinny things at the top there of the pool are supposed to keep seagulls away and keep them out of the pool. And it's really ironic when you have a seagull that just comes and stands right next to it and you go, I guess it doesn't work. But they look nice anyway when they spin. This little garden here, you'll see in a second, is, oh, let me widen it out. There you go. It used to be a horseshoe pit. I used to have horseshoe pits here, and then my neighbor put up a fence, and you know, naturally the horseshoes would bang against his fence, so I had to stop that. So I planted a little garden here, and lots of marigolds, and by the time September comes or August comes, those marigolds are so big it just fills the whole garden up with marigolds, and they're really, really big. And you'll see here, I'll show you in a second, there's a food bird feeder, and the seeds drop below it, so right below it you can see a lot of new flowers coming up and sunflowers. So that's a byproduct of the birds eating, is I'll get new flowers there. And I have these really cool gongs. I'm going to show you them in a second. I put them up there. I take them down at night so it doesn't wake up the neighbors if it's windy, but you'll see why I take them down at night. Let me go put them up. See, they sound like a bay gong. So that calms back and forth. I like that one. This one's a lot louder. See this one? Alright, so that one's a lot louder. That'll really get the neighbors annoyed. And if you see up here next to this, there's like a green thing with liquid hanging there. That's the newest invention. It's a green tube filled with like 50 different essential oils. It's supposed to keep greenhead flies away. We're trying them out now. It's a little experiment. Supposedly the color of it does something to the greenhead's eyes, and it makes them run away from it. So that's interesting. So here, let me take you a quick walk around here, and you'll see that up here I have a gourd, and in that gourd we got birds living in there. It's crazy because you'll see, look over here, the hole is really, really tiny, and the birds are way bigger than the hole, and they fit right in. So that's pretty cool. And this is my little fish pond that I have here. And the fish pond is pretty neat because you know, I buy some cheap goldfish and keep them in there, but also I got a baby turtle that came across from the golf course, and they try to make their way over here to the bay. So I give them a little break. I keep them, and whenever I find one, I keep them in the pond for a week or two. Try to fatten them up with some fish and things I use for bait, and then when they get a little bigger, then I put them in the bay. This way, it gives them an extra chance at being bigger and surviving, you know. And one of my favorite plants is tiger lilies. I like tiger lilies. And tiger lilies are really cool because I've read, and I've not tried it, so I'm a little scared, but they say before they flower that this solid thing is edible. I wouldn't, check it out yourself. I haven't eaten it yet, but they say you could fry it. And then what I like to do, one of my, OCD type behaviors is I'll come out every day and I'll break off the old ones, and rather than leave them there, I just want to see the nice flowers, so I take the old ones off and I break them up until I get a nice pile of them, and then what I do is I just throw them in the dirt there, and I'm hoping that they seed and this just grows more for next year. So I have that and my tiger lilies. So the problem is the tiger lily only blooms for one day. So this thing may open up today, and then tomorrow it turns into that. So it's just an overnight flower that lasts about less than 24 hours. And then once all these things have blossomed, then there's no more tiger lilies left, and it's just the leaves, which are pretty by itself. So the last step over here is, here's one more thing here. This piece of brick, I'm going to zoom in on it. There you go. We had we have a famous old pub here, the Rod and Reel Tavern. It's been in Brigantine since 1936. It died in 2012 with Hurricane Sandy. And then last year they demolished it, and I went over there and got a piece of the outdoor wall. And I made that little plaque, Rod and Reel Tavern, piece of the front wall, laid to rest by Superstorm Sandy. So it's actually a nice little garden brick to stand on with the little pansies there. So that's nice in that part of the garden. I do keep a few bird baths around too, so that the birds can cool off. These babies are all going to bloom soon too. These right here, these are lilies. I mean, 1 year, you can see them all back there. Look at them all them. 1 year at church at Easter, they had a lily, and they gave the lilies away, so I planted the one lily in my garden, and darn it to heck, it bloomed these huge, gigantic flowers, and every year it's getting more and more and more. So you'll see, I don't have, maybe one of the videos when the flowers come out, they're really big white flowers. You can see that. So now my vegetable garden is over here, and I try to make it like a little tropical. That's my crabs, clams, and cold beer sign I made we went to an arts and craft you know, pottery painting type place with the kids one year, so that was my artwork. I got my little crab on the top. There he is. Where is he? Little crab, little clam, pint of beer. But then in this garden, I make it sort of, it's regenerative gardening. So as you can see at the bottom of the garden, it's all wood chips, and it's all under that is all weeds, and I do my own composting. So regenerative gardening means is that you just throw things in on top of the soil, and they decompose, and it adds to your soil every year. So these are 3 years worth of wood chips, and I add a new layer every year, but you can tell each year the old ones have decomposed, and it's contributing to the soil. Plus, like I said, all my own compost. And then I put some palm trees in the yard to give it a little tropical feel. But there's tomato plants, there's some eggplants growing up, there's some kale, there's some hot peppers. This is parsley that has all gone to seed from last year, and what I'm doing with that is just leaving it like that, because the butterflies, the monarchs, will lay their eggs in there, and then the caterpillars feast on that, and it's really crazy because they're the most beautiful bright yellow and black caterpillars. And then the zucchini looks like it took a little bit of a beating overnight. These are my string beans down there. There's some basil, and there's the zucchini plants and the tomato plants, and that's that. So I hope you enjoyed the video.